Hello, this is BBC News and I'm Annita McVeigh. The headlines at midday. Boris Johnson has been meeting his cabinet and they're expected not to impose any further COVID restrictions in England. That's despite the current high levels of infection in the country. The NHS is under increasing strain from coronavirus. More trusts in England declare critical incidents and 17 hospitals in Greater Manchester put some non-urgent surgery on hold. The government's finalising plans to drop the requirement in England that people who test positive on a lateral flow should get a PCR to confirm it. Scotland's First Minister Nicola Sturgeon is due to address Parliament later today as COVID cases continue to rise. President Emmanuel Macron warns he intends to make life difficult for people in France who haven't been vaccinated against COVID-19. And Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison has warned tennis star Novak Djokovic will be on the next plane home without sufficient evidence to support his COVID vaccination exemption to play at the Australian Open.
We await his presentation and what evidence he provides to support that. If that evidence is insufficient, then he won't be treated any different to anyone else and he'll be on the next plane home.
Hello, a very good afternoon to you and welcome to BBC News. The Prime Minister has been meeting his cabinet to ask them to back his decision not to impose any further COVID restrictions in England. That's despite soaring levels of infection. Ministers are also considering changing the rules on COVID tests in England to ease staffing shortages by reducing self-isolation periods. Last night, Boris Johnson said he hoped the country could ride out the current wave, but he accepted that part of the NHS would feel overwhelmed. It comes as a string of hospital trusts in England have declared critical incidents. In Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon is expected to announce whether she will be cutting self-isolation time for those testing positive from 10 days to 7 as the Scottish Parliament holds a special virtual session. Meanwhile, the French President Emmanuel Macron has caused controversy by using a slang term for annoy to criticise and try to get unvaccinated people in France to have a COVID vaccine. And Novak Djokovic will be on the next plane home if reasons for him being exempted from having a COVID vaccine were insufficient. That's according to the Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison, amid rising anger over an exemption granted by Australian Open organisers. The first of our reports is from John Donnison and it's about the pressure